Hello. I don't know who's going to watch this video, but hopefully you'll gain something from it and know what to look for in these sort of articles. But I wanted to show this article because it kind of gives an example of the state of news that we're currently in. This one seems to be virtue signaling towards the anti-abortion laws that's currently in the more Republican-prone states, so like Georgia, Alabama, Louisiana. I think there's like two more, but anyways, this article seems like it's kind of virtue signaling from Business Insider. Now, when I think about Business Insider, I think of must be like business news, like what CEO got arrested for dirty money or something, laundering money with cocaine people or something. I don't know. Or talk about business, the stock market and stuff. But it seems as though Business Insider is trying to play a role in politics and strategy in life. Look up here, you see life. What are they trying to say about life? What's it like to live as a millionaire? Okay, I kind of see these articles in business. Aspirational business people want to look up and like, oh, I want this kind of house when I'm, filthy, stinking rich from my hard work and working and slaving away. They include politics here because that's what the clicking stuff is nowadays. It's if we talk about politics, people will click and will generate money. As you see here, I disabled ad block I have an ad block enabled because ads are pretty annoying. So they talk about this. California-based chip company just took a $2 billion hit following Trump's Huawei ban, whatever it's called. I don't know why this chip company would want to work with Huawei when they're in the U.S. and it's been longly touted that Huawei is like not welcomed in the U.S. because of their monitoring and spying on us from Chinese government. Sounds like a bad business idea for those chip company. So basically, it seems as though they have a left wing response to the current climate politics, right? So we have Stephen Colbert, a well known leftist activist. Nothing that I'm not saying everything about the left is wrong, but it just seems like this place has a left wing bent. So when I saw this article, when I saw it on my Facebook page, I don't know why I'm still on Facebook, but I was just scrolling through one out of sheer boredom, and I came across someone posting this article, also virtue signaling about this abortion laws and stuff are bad too. So it says Alabama, for instance, abortions are now only allowed when necessary to mother's physical health. Okay, but this article is talking about something specifically called a woman giving birth to a baby without a skull. Scientifically, that's called anencephaly, and it's a pretty rare condition. It's like 1 in 1,000 or something like that. It's something that's how do I put it? It's something that's really rare, and it's actually found really early on into the pregnancy, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's like 12 weeks or into like the second trimester, you can early second trimester that is, you can see through ultrasound like whether or not your baby has anencephaly. So trying to remember, there's something you can see in the quad screen. So there's something called a quad screen that you can see in the mother on what sort of like defects that a baby could have. So the quad screen is like you're screening 4 things. One is alpha fetoprotein, which is mainly for Down syndrome, I believe. And there's HCG, estriol inhibin A. So I believe it's inhibin A that can detect for like neural tube defects and stuff like that. Oh boy, I'm forgetting all this stuff from med school, but but yeah, this quad screen, so you can detect it early on. So what this is telling me, straight only reading this headline, is that the woman did not have any sort of prenatal care or prenatal workup while she was pregnant. So I'll let you decide on who to blame for that. Maybe it's her living circumstances that don't allow her to have access to it. Who knows? So they give these points here. An anonymous U.S. doctor wrote an essay about the woman giving birth with anencephaly. And then it's talking about the physician talking about. So this is in a paraphrased anonymous essay that's written in the Annals of Internal Medicine. So the editors thought this was a great thing to write, especially with the current politics. But we'll see what this Business Insider first talks about, and it's like it's saying that whether or not like it's going into the U.S. physician and what he's saying about it, and it's talking about how it's ancephaly. And then for some reason it says speaking through an interpreter whose video feed was mounted on the television screen. The doctor had explained to this hopeful mother, due to her circumstances, that hadn't had any opportunity to reach medical facility until that point. So what this sounds like is that it's a Spanish speaking person or any sort of migrant person or a person who recently immigrated to this country, whether it be legally or illegally. The legal way, file the papers, or hopping over the border. One of those two methods, that person is an immigrant or probably stayed in a secluded part of the U.S. where you can live in that certain area without even knowing English. You can get by. You have doctors that speak in whatever language it is, whether it's Chinese or Spanish, and you don't even have to learn English in order to live in America. So that's what it sounds like. It sounds like this person is has an interpreter, so Spanish speaking, and she never had any follow up, any prenatal workup whatsoever, and so she unfortunately came to Alabama and stayed there, and so she's talking about how the physician is saying that this is the physician words, not her words, and she's saying that her eyes plead with you, end it. You talk to obstetricians because eventually they will end it, but nobody will do it, not in this state, not in this hospital. And so the mother goes home pregnant and grieving. And then later says a few days later she returns having a miscarriage, and after the born, the mother can't bring herself to hold the child. So it sounds like she then had an attempt abortion, or maybe she OD'd on something, got something from her handlers, who knows. But it sounds like that she has miscarriage, and then after that, the child was born. Doesn't say how. And then cannot bring herself to hold the child. So she has a miscarriage. The baby died in the womb, and then you want her to hold it. Is that what you're telling me? Like you want to hold her dead baby? I don't know if that's moral or not. I'll let you decide on that one. I would say no, but hey, well, I guess do it if it's moral or not. But anyways. Moments later, there's a severely deformed infant died. So if you don't know what ancephaly is, I suggest you Google it. It's kind of creepy. It's something that's unfortunate. The baby's born without a head, a brain, or like without a skull or a brain. They still have a head. They have a face, and like some of the things are still intact. Like the baby is he's still able to grasp, reflex, I believe. So that's why sometimes people will. Would want to keep the baby if the baby had ancephaly. I have this tab open because I think this was the case, but there was a ultrasound at a routine ultrasound 12 weeks in her first pregnancy. Stephanie Schoonover or whatever were devastated about the ancephaly, and these people from Austin, Texas, after learning, basically they carry the child to term. So. There's parents out there who do carry to term, honorable on them. I guess that's good for them if they want to do that. I guess this person that this doctor's talking about didn't want to do that. That's her choice. But basically it sounds like they're virtue signaling to the sort of thing, saying, oh, these abortion laws are so bad. Look at this case, this one specific case, this one instance that's out of the typical norm. Like I said, it's like 1 in 1,000 people have, or the 1 in 1,000 births are ancephaly or something like that along those lines. It's like less than 0.1%. And these abortion laws, the zero abortion laws, they're saying that, look at this one specific case that's out of the ordinary. And, because of this one case, the entire law is out of whack. It's a very bad law. I personally think it is a bad law because, there are certain instances, especially for termination, but I don't think like third trimester termination is a good thing, like New York did. If I'm correct in my thinking, because I believe New York did get rid of that law um, for a third trimester. And so it's basically saying that this essay is saying a case, an anecdotal case. It's not something that's documented or anything like that. It's an anecdotal case saying that, hey, this person born anencephaly, and because of that, she was forced to carry out the term. And if someone told her that, in Alabama, what's to stop her from going to Mississippi, Mississippi from actually having an abortion? It also tells me that this person, she carried the baby for a really long time, to the point where, she was contracting, and it sounded like she was having like some contractions, not regular correct contractions, or something like that. But that's not the entire story. So like this essay, it's an essay that's from the Annals of Internal Medicine, and it's not a long essay, so you can go read it if you want. It says "The Myth of Choice" is the title, and it's a free essay. One of the few things that's free on this website. Let me tell you. Let's see if this is just a unique issue. Let's see. Patent for ML Valley. Let's see, is that full? Do I get full? Do I get the full text? No, I don't. I have to sign in. I do not get full text for patent for ML Valley. Ischemic stroke. I mean, way more people suffer from strokes than people with anencephaly. Just saying. And because of that, I can't get the full text. But this article is a full text. And it's just saying, and the way this story is actually written, it says, you are the OB triage. So it's trying to say that, hey, you're in here, buddy. Hey, this is your situation. What would you do? Huh? What would you do? It's like one of those typical stories that, it's like, these sorts of stories don't do any good for what you're trying to say, right? You're putting the person in a hypothetical situation that doesn't exist, nor does that person want to deal with this sort of situation. Say, how would you feel? Like, I don't know, it's not my problem. I don't deal with this sort of stuff. And so you're not really like making any ground. You're not convincing the other side of the argument. With this sort of, I hate to say it, but fake news, right? Because you can't prove it. So I'm not saying this is entirely fake. I'm just saying that I would be hesitant to believe everything that the person says, right? Her hand rubs her belly. It's like you're reading a novel here. This person's like, oh, like if I was in this situation, but like, yeah, then while there, she seemed like she was caring, like she rubbed her hand on her belly and stuff like that. It seemed like she was caring. But I had to tell her, I'm sorry, you can't. Your baby would have to be born because we live in Alabama and there's no abortion laws in Alabama, and so that's what it sounds like. It's not talking like this is what I dealt with. This is more like a second person point of view, where it's like it keeps on saying you. Let's see how many U's there are. Oh, whoops. You. There's 33 U's in this essay. So I mean, I would be hesitant to call this a truthful article, especially from Annals of Internal Medicine. This name, it kind of carries a bit of weight. And so if you publish articles like this, it kind of hurts you. 33 U's she's talking about in the second person. And this article is in fact free. You can look at it, read it, and everything. But this one isn't, where it's talking about 4 French hospitals and they're analyzing ischemic strokes in patent forum of Valley. So, I mean, I think that's... Oh, one thing notable, though, is like it's published in June 7th. They voted on the law on May 14th. So what is that, like 3 weeks later? They published this article. I don't know. It seems like if she had adequate health care, she would have found out in her 12 weeks of trimester, or 12 weeks into her pregnancy, and could have gotten an abortion then. I don't know whose fault that is, but I'll let you decide there. And so they even mentioned the wave of anti-abortion laws in this Business Insider article. So I'll let you decide on whether or not this is worth reading or whether or not it's truthful or not. I would be hesitant to call it truthful, but I mean, I'll say, yeah, it's truthful, but I won't believe everything this person says. Or maybe I'll just stay hesitant. And it says, essay was published in Anton and the original some Science Alert. Huh. What is Science Alert? Oh, it's something that tells me about science. So the article is originated from this website. It originated from Science Alert, original article on Science Alert, and it's talking about we have a problem with portal stellar source of Earth's gold. What? Okay, it's probably talking. These are okay. So these are articles just on science. Oh, and here's the article right here. Natural gas is referred as freedom gas. Hey, it could be freedom gas because hey, it does free us from other countries and relying on other countries. So, but yeah. Oh, Star Trek logo found in Mars. Oh well. I guess Star Trek was a real thing, and so all we've been watching is nothing but a bunch of documentaries. Anyways, thank you for watching. I'll let you decide on whether or not this is something that is worth looking into, but just be wary of all these sorts of virtue signaling on article news source magazines where they make anecdotes seem like the norm when it's really not. And I believe that abortion laws should be up to the population that's in that state. So thanks for watching or listening. Please don't demonetize me, even though I'm not monetized.